here as part of the press conference, but as you guys can all imagine, as a result of the gravity of the information that she has just learned about, she is not in an emotional state to be in front of the camera. She has expressed her concerns to me, her thoughts, and what she is feeling right now, and she's explained to me is if this would have happened from the get-go when she was in the stream of consciousness of all this happening, that she would have been better suited to be in front of a camera, but as of right now today, she just cannot speak. However, we are ready, willing, and able to answer any questions you guys may have.
What is her response to this?
To say devastated is an understatement. She told me that the main thing that keeps going through her head is that she wanted this guy to be behind bars for the rest of her life, rightfully so. And now, this man who ripped a family apart and tore them to pieces is now able to be home in his own bed, see his family, see his daughter, his son, and his grandkid. And it's just unbelievably unfair.
Is it worse for her because, like, he was sort of denied the bond and now he's being released, now that's kind of been overturned?
I'll tell you, she didn't voice it that way to me, but I can only conclude on my own that yes, that is exactly why. She was prepared for everything as it occurred back then, and if he would have just been released, it would have just been part of the process. But because she had that safety of him being at home, or not being at home, it's more difficult pill to swallow. Any other questions?
Where does she go from here? Where do you go from here in this case?
Well, you know, as we've said all along, this is a state's case, not ours. And we hold complete confidence in the state, and we still continue to hold complete confidence in the judge, even though we disagree with his final conclusion. And we know that he will be convicted because the evidence, in our opinion, is extremely overwhelming. And we will continue to support the state with whatever they need. We will continue to help Nicole through this process, and we will hope that the sentiment of everybody doesn't change and know that they are continuing to support Chad Oulson in this and not Mr. Reeves.
Can you as attorneys comment at all about why you think this happened?
Yeah, the judge's ruling at the time he entered his ruling, he made it clear that he felt the state had met its burden as required for him to deny bond. He went on to indicate on the record that if he were in a position to grant bond, he indicated what he thought that bond would be appropriate at based on what was normally done in Pasco County for that type of offense and that situation. The appellate court, because of the way that the hearing was conducted, where even though the state assumed the mantle and burden of proving that he should be detained, went second, so to speak, and presented its case after the defense had put their case on, took the position, based on some recent case law, that they weren't clear if the judge understood that he had the discretion to decide not to detain him. And they were looking for clarification in their order. They indicated basically 3 options that he could pursue to do that could have been very simply accomplished with a simple order, which is what he elected to do this afternoon. And he made it clear in his order, he pointed out that he did believe, in fact, that once the state had met its burden, that he was barred from acting with any discretion. And then he went on to quote a couple of lines from the opinion that I think, you know, even though the judge is deciding whether or not there's a basis to grant a bond or not, I think it's pretty clear that the appellate court was sending a message that based on what they had reviewed in the very extensive record, that had he elected to go the other way, that they felt that there was a strong case made on some of the points by the defense.
How long are we looking at until this case goes to trial?
You know, we were just in court the other day, and the court said that their desire is to get this case continued to move and to get it set for trial in September. You know, everyone's talking about the January-February time frame. I'm hoping that continues to be the direction of the case. But as we all know, we've seen delays before, especially when defendants get out, and I have a feeling that's what's going to happen here.
Do you think this cause more delays?
I can only imagine that Mr. Escobar is going to use this to continue to delay the case.
Does Ms. Oulson have any concern for her own safety? I know that I believe the judge's order restricts him from being anywhere near her. Right?
It does, and I will have you know, a quick response to that, and that is this. I believe that he is an absolute danger to society. There's absolutely no question. He went from someone throwing popcorn in his face to murdering someone. What's to say that can't happen again? Granted, his movements are very restricted. He can go to the grocery store, he can go to the church, he can go to the doctor. But what if someone out there is a big supporter of Chad or a big supporter of Mrs. Oulson? And what if they heckle him? What if they say something to him? They don't even have to touch him or anything like that, apparently. And he could lose it again. So I think he is in absolute danger, and I know that while she's not voiced that to me, that is obviously a concern in the back of her mind, that not only it's potentially she could run into him, but more importantly, this could happen to somebody else. There's no reason why it couldn't.
How did she find out? Did you inform her?
Yes.